All right, sorry about that little technical glitch. But last question I had, so work-life balance, because I know that gets thrown out a lot. What's your kind of take on work-life balance?
Work-life balance doesn't exist.
Okay.
You cannot, maintain this level that is right here. And I look at it as work-life is really more in harmony, and that how does it all work together? Like an orchestra. Sometimes the horns are more important, sometimes the strings are featured, but it's all in harmony. So we can't compartmentalize those things. That at 8 o'clock, you walk out the door and now you're in business mode, and at 5:30 you leave and now you're in family mode. Well, how could that possibly happen?
Yeah.
It doesn't, and you can't maintain it if you did it for a day or two or a week or two. You can't maintain it for life. So how do we make things integrate and be part of an overall orchestra harmony?
Do you think if someone's out there trying to find work-life balance, it's because their work is not really enough? They're looking for something else maybe, so they're compartmentalizing it like you said, but the work isn't their true passion. So it's kind of like a means to get that, personal life.
Yeah. I think that's part, but I think we've been sold a bill of goods for so long about work-life balance, and I looked that phrase up, and it was coined in the 70s. Well, what?
Yeah,
We've
might
been
be
listening.
outdated.
Right. We've been, looking at it for all this time, and it really doesn't exist anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And the world's different, and we need to adapt so that we look at our lives in their totality and what makes us happy. And sometimes people feel trapped, and I get that, but it doesn't have to be that way.
And so along that lines of the world's different now, you've been doing this a couple years, in the legal a few years. Have you seen? I'm sure you have, but what are some changes you've seen in? You can go any way with this, either the legal profession as a whole, or maybe for your specific kind of market, the solo small lawyer model business. What's kind of maybe some changes you've seen over this time?
I think the biggest change is technology and our reach. If someone had told me 30 years ago that I'd be selling books in Australia and Hong Kong and Europe and Canada, I would say you're crazy. But because your voice is a global voice, and I think that in the legal profession, solos can compete with big firms, and the advantage is you can have specialized expertise, you can charge for that specialized expertise, and you don't have the overhead. Yeah. So you're not going to be as expensive as someone from Skadden, So I think that it is our ability to reach the world, and our ability to show our expertise, and that could never have existed 30 years ago.
Do you see, along that same line, do you see maybe a change in business model for some of those larger firms, or even larger mid-sized firms, or do you think that's still with us?
Oh, I think it's still with us. I think they'll adapt in different ways, and they'll create different practice areas that are a lot more nimble. Mm-hmm. But I think basically the solo lawyer or small firm lawyer has the ability to really compete, where I think 30 years ago it probably was not.
More difficult, yeah. And so maybe, to kind of wrap up and shifting gears a little bit, I know you're working on an online product. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, it's going to cover the 4 areas that I think are paramount for solo lawyers, which is prioritizing time, business development and all the possible ways of doing that, money, and we first start with how does it all fit into your life? So what's going to make you happy? Mm-hmm. And everybody is different. I have a client that just had a baby, and she takes the baby to work. Yeah. Well, she created her practice so that she can do that. And you lay the groundwork so that it is conducive to your own life. My practice is conducive to my life, going back and forth to Denver every other month. So it's no longer inhibited by my obligation in Miami. I do my work in both cities.
You're
yes.
designing the life that you want to live,
yes,
and making
exactly.
everything else work around that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
And so someone, who's maybe on the verge of wanting to open up their own shop, or has their own shop but is struggling, I guess how would they find you? What's the best way to get in contact with you, and what would you say to them?
Well, first of all, you can email me at paulablack.com.
Okay.
And I think it would be, let's discover your own path. What is it that you like? What is it that you want to get out of life? And who are the people in your life that that bring you the most joy? And let's figure out from there. Because I don't think it is a one size fits all. It's not a little formula. You do this, 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 and this, and you will be happy. You do this, this, and this, and you'll make lots of money. No, it's not like that. And maybe money isn't even your goal.
Sure.
Maybe it's, I want to make a living, but I want to have these kinds of things in my life.
Yeah.
And what are those? Right?
Yeah, I think that's great, and that's why I wanted to sit down with you, because I think sometimes we just need a sounding board that's maybe not our business partner or our spouse or whoever. Sometimes we kind of need an outside influence, or specifically someone who's been doing this for many years and works with attorneys to kind of give us a more of a holistic approach to it. And I love the way that you kind of look at each person's situation, and it is not a one size fits all. You've got to go to bar events, you've got to do this, this, and this, and you kind of help people see that. Yes. I think so. Yes. Thank you for being on the show with us today. Again, Paula at paulablack.com.
Yes.
And when is your course coming out?
The 1st of January.
The 1st of January, and you've got 6 books, Amazon, one of them,
yes.
50 weeks,
yes.
top bestseller.
Yes.
So doing very well. Check out Paula Black, and thank you again, and everyone have a great weekend.
Thank you.